Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today, ink comparison day. The two inks we're going to look at. The first one by Diamine Soft Mint. My second one by Robert Oster Tranquility. Two really enjoyable inks to use. Two similar but also different inks. So I thought there'd be an interesting comparison. Please join me down on the mat. We'll look at the inks, look at the swatches, chromatography. I'll do a writing sample, then I'll give you my thoughts on these inks. Welcome down to the table. Here we've got the two inks we're going to be taking a look at. Diamine Soft Mint and Robert Oster Tranquility. Just show you there at the top, Tranquility. I like both these inks. They're both similar but different. I know I say that with a lot of inks, don't I? They've got certainly got different appearances, but they both behave really well. The Soft Mint, I bought this in the 30ml bottle. I paid $3.22. It works out at 11 cents a milliliter. The Robert Oster Tranquility, that's in a 50ml bottle, so it's a bigger bottle. I paid $20 for it. Now that works out at 40 cents a milliliter. So in terms of value, in terms of cost, you get a lot better value with the Soft Mint, but it's a smaller bottle. And one of the issues I have with this, I'm just going to quickly take these caps off. We'll have a better look when we do the writing. Look at the different size in the openings. With the Tranquility, virtually every one of my pens will go in there and fill. With this Soft Mint, because of that small opening, what I find is I'm limited by the pens that will go into the bottle. So quite often I need to use a syringe to fill them. Now I know there are, I think is it called an ink miser? That's something I keep looking for. Very hard to get here in Australia. And yes, I know I could buy from America, but then postage is absolutely ridiculous. So they're the bottles. Let's take a look at the swatches. So there we've got Soft Mint and Tranquility. I like these both. They're very similar in that they're obviously they're like a greeny colour. The Tranquility is more teal. I find with the Soft Mint that it really suits a broader nib. The Tranquility, because it's got that little bit more darkness to it, I can use that in virtually every nib. Take a quick look at the chromatography. So here we've got Soft Mint and here we've got Tranquility. Very different chromatographies, aren't they? The Soft Mint, there only seems to be the one colour in there. We don't see anything else other than that nice pale bluey green colour. The Tranquility though, we've got some grey at the bottom here. We've got greens, we've got blues, and I just see a hint of red at the top. I think if you can get the right pen and paper, you can get some nice sheen coming through this. Very, very subtle though. So that's chromatography. Let's fetch in the notepad of testing. Today's notepad of testing, Oxford Optic paper, A5. Really love this paper. One of my favourite papers to use is Oxford Optic paper. To do my testing, I'm going to be using my Serendipity dip pen. There we go. This has got a broad Yoho nib on it. We start with Soft Mint. The first thing I'm going to do is actually fetch in an ink holder. I don't want to end up spilling the ink all over. This one's Quickie Koala. So in it goes. You get to see my arm and my watch. Let's dip the pen in. So what I do, I've got my scrap paper here. When I'm doing all these, is I dip the pen in a couple of times, just so I get hopefully a good fill there on the nib. Shake it off, then I scribble a little bit on my scrap paper, and then I write. So we've got Diamine Soft Mint. I do like this colour. It is a soft colour to my eyes, and I know that's a very personal thing to say, but it's not harsh, it's not in your face, it's just nice and gentle on the eyes. In the past I've done drying tests, but I've always questioned the value of that. If you'd like to see me fetch them back, please drop a comment so that I know, but otherwise I'm not going to do the drying test. We'll go straight into the sentence. So we go Grumpy Wizards, and we've run out of ink. Let me go and re-dip. This is the problem with using a dip nib. You can never tell how much ink you've got on it. And that's part of the reason why I'm not doing those drying tests anymore, because you don't know, is the issue to do with the amount of ink on the nib, or is what you're seeing actually a property of the ink? Very nice. So whilst there's ink on the nib, coming out really, really nicely. And I'll do some flow. Can we get across the page before it runs out? We might be able to. It's still going. Starting to get a bit paler there by the time we get towards the end. I like the colour of this ink. As I've said, it's soft. Not 100% certain if there's much shading coming through here. You know, the T and the G and R, they are looking lighter, but that's where the nib was running out of ink. So I can't 100% say there's shading. When we look in the Tomoe River paper, we'll be able to get a better idea of that. I'm going to step away from the desk for a couple of minutes, clean out the dip pen, so we can start with a fresh, clean nib. So I'm back with a clean pen. What I do when I'm cleaning these, I'll show you. The nib and feed just pull out and then easy come apart, so I can get them under the tap, under cold water, give it a good clean. I then dry as much as I can with a paper towel to get as much of the excess water on, hopefully to try and minimise any impact on the ink when I next dip it. So the next ink is our Robert Oster Tranquility. So let's dip this one. So we've got Robert Oster Tranquility. I had to remember how to spell it then for a second. Our sentence. I thought it was about time that the Queen got some revenge on those grumpy wizards. Flow. Let's see, will it run out or will it keep going? This to me is one of the issues with how I do my testing. I want to keep things as similar as possible, so I use the same paper. I'm using the same pen. The problem with it though, because I'm dipping, I can't guarantee exactly how much ink is going on it, and at the end of the day that will affect the results. If we look here at the writing, I like the writing. The first line, very, very wet. That's still where there's that excess ink on the nib. That's why I scribble off to get rid of the worst of it. Obviously I needed to do a bit more. When we get to the sentence though, we start seeing the character coming through. We start seeing some really nice shading. Look at the A, the Q, the top of the D. Quite like the way this looks. Let's just move this out of the way, and what I'm going to do is fetch in my 52 GSM Tomoe River notebook. This is a gel and leather notebook. The pen that I've tested both these inks in, this is a Kaigaloo 316. It's got a medium nib. There's a medium nib. It's a nice pen, cartridge converter pen. Currently got no ink in there at all. Had this pen quite a while, so the first ink I put in here was actually the Diamine Soft Mint, and I like this as a combo. I think it looks really, really nice. When we see the writing on here, get a little bit of shading, not a lot though. This ink to me isn't overly shading. It's nice though. I mean, this is what you can see about me saying about it being soft. If I turn the page, we've got that orange one there. The orange is bright in your face, whereas this is just nice, soft, gentle on the eyes. I really like it. It's a nice ink in this pen. Jumped forward in time. Here again, we've got the Kaigaloo 316 with Robert Oster Tranquility. see a lot more shading in here. You know, it's coming out all over the place. Loads of character in this. I did accidentally drip some water on here, purely an accident. But you can see it's taken virtually all that ink away. So not a very water-fast ink. I found this ink has very quickly become one of my favourites. I would say between this and Diamine Aurora Borealis, it fits that teal slot of the inks that I like. And, you know, it's a 50ml bottle. It's going to last me quite a while. I did originally start off with some samples. I had a couple of them, went through them really quickly. That's why I got the bottle. Really enjoy this ink. And normally in the course of my filled pens, I've usually got at least one, sometimes a couple, filled with this ink. It's such a nice ink. Let's fetch in the Oxford paper again. We'll fetch in the bottles. Let's just pop them on there. That one on here. I like both the inks. I do find in terms of practicalness, the Tranquility is the better one. It's got that bit more darkness to it. But I like the softness that I see with the Soft Mint. And they both fit different niches. So with the Soft Mint, that's sort of ink. I'd actually quite like using that in my journal. I like using it when I'm doing my writing practice. But for longer term notes, where I'm going to be sat in a meeting, I do find that the Tranquility, that just seems to fit a lot better. Also looks a bit more professional as well, I think. Whereas this Diamine Soft Mint, very in your face that it's not a professional ink. The Tranquility got that little bit more darkness to it, and I think that really works in its place. I love both the inks. When the bottles run out, I would quite happily buy another bottle of each. That's how much I enjoy them. And there's quite a few inks I've got where, to be honest, I wouldn't do that. I'd use the bottle and never replace it. These are two nice, enjoyable inks. So these are my thoughts on Diamine Soft Mint and Robert Oster Tranquility. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. What are your thoughts on these inks? Do you have them? Do you have anything similar to them? Please drop a comment down below. Let's kickstart the conversation. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.